Here we go. The PBC has been having these issues for years, and now it seems like it's coming to light, particularly because it's happening with Tank and all the really kind of the promises, I guess you can say, that we've been getting as fans, starting with the huge Amazon deal after Showtime left. 12, 15 fights a year. They only have 5. Tank versus Lamont Roach, nobody wants. Even if you're a hardcore Tank fan, nobody wants that fight. If you want that fight, you don't support the best fighting the best. You can't say you want the best fighters to fight the best, and then you're supporting Tank fighting a champion who is in a weight division below him. And this is not like Tank is only fighting him because there's nobody else to fight. Tank's been asking to fight this guy for 2 years, and Lamont Roach said that in an interview over 2 years ago. They've been wanting to put this fight, and it shows the program of the PBC. The program of the PBC is never to have the best fight the best. It never was. How often does that happen, of the best fighting the best? The only time it happens is when the boxer really, really pushes for it. And that usually doesn't happen. It's why we haven't gotten Spence and Crawford for years. It's why we haven't got a lot of the matchups, Tank versus Devin and things like that. A lot of the matchups don't happen because of the PBC model of making money fights. And I think that's caught up to them, and it's been catching up to them for years. Because the fans are, all the talk on Twitter and YouTube, I am sure that Amazon is looking at this like, nobody's going to buy this fight. We're not going to pay Tank a huge guarantee to fight a nobody. And it's no disrespect to Lamont Roach, who's a good guy. I've been watching his interviews. Good guy. Can't say nothing bad about him. Of course he's going to say, I'm coming here to win and I'm going to win and all this stuff. But when fans look at it and the guy that you're fighting, Lamont Roach, has a knockout percentage less than Devin Haney, who fans called pillow-fisted, it's not a good look, is it? It's not a good look when the 140-pound division has good competition and you've already fought there and you're choosing to fight someone below you. This whole issue with the venue, it's money issues. It's always going to come down to money. If they had the money, if everything was in order, because Tank is the one that put out that he was fighting December 14th with the poster of Lamont Roach at the Toyota Center. But that's not happening, right? So there's clearly a division going on, whether it's with Tank and PBC or PBC and Amazon. Because Amazon, who I'm assuming is just distributing the fights, they can't be... I think it's proven that they're not the ones that's funding the money. Because if they did, we would have had a much better production than what we got in the Tim Tszyu fight, where the dude walks out with nobody had walkout music. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before, where it's a big fight and people just walk out like nothing, like it was just like it was a sparring. It's crazy. And what does that point to? Money. That points to money issues. What else would it be? Do you think executives are like, nah, for this fight, we really want to give the fans a surprise. Let's not put walkout music on. And what? It's all money. Those things cost money. Production, having a team to do all that is money. And when you're cutting corners at all cost, this is what happens. When you don't want to pay fighters to fight a good champion, a good fighter who is usually, if you have a good fighter against another good fighter, they're both going to want money. And, the PBC doesn't do that. They're only going to pay one of their fighters and pay the other fighter chump change. That's their model. And Amazon, and maybe PBC is asking for money from Amazon to pay Tank this guarantee. And, and they're like, no. Because the only way that this makes sense, this scenario of Tank, their biggest superstar, this never happens with Canelo. Never happens with really... It doesn't happen with Canelo. Never happened with Floyd. Their biggest superstars, they have made sure to taken care of. You know, that was it an $80 million deal or something that they had with Canelo over a couple fights? That money was put in escrow, right? Now, maybe Tank's asking for the same thing. We don't know. And all we really can do is speculate, because the PBC doesn't talk. The PBC doesn't give interviews. What's going on? This is all leading to money issues. And the reason why people have been talking about the PBC going broke for years and years is because things like this happen. A venue's being booked, then it's not booked, then the fans are saying, oh, it's not money issues, they're just having a issue with the venue. It's money. It's money issues. It's a mixture of them not having the money that they thought they would, and two, the top people looking at the talk of this Tank and Lamont fight, saying nobody's gonna buy this. Fans aren't interested. Only a small amount of people are gonna actually buy it and fly out. Even though Tank always has high gates, it must be so bad that even with the high gate he will probably get, they don't see any profit in this fight. And why would they? This fight, it was the card was supposed to be super stacked. Originally it was Tank with Benavidez, Charlo and Andrade. It was supposed to be a stat card, right? But they wanted Benavidez to fight Jesse Hart, who is obviously not going to get a lot of money. Benavidez didn't want that fight, so he wanted a tougher fight with Morrell, and I'm sure they're gonna have to pay Morrell much more money than they would have Jesse Hart. The Charlo and Andrade fight, what's going on with that? Why isn't there any talk? It's money. It's money. They must have thought they had the money to put on a big card, and now they're realizing it's not gonna work out. This could be fixed with fighters putting the money up, trusting in your fighters, and letting them fight competition where people think that it's a 50-50 fight and people are going to want to pay to see it. Because who thinks Tank versus Lamont Roach is a 50-50 fight? Nobody. Nobody ever did. Nobody. If you do, you're lying to yourself. You know Tank's going to knock him out. There's no way somebody's going to bet on Lamont Roach winning that fight. That's a knockout for Tank, easily. Why do you want to see it? I thought him versus Frank Martin was a good. I thought that was a close fight. Before the fight started, I thought that would have been a 50-50 fight, because I thought Frank Martin was really good, and he is really good, right? But we see how good Tank is. We don't want to see how a great fighter fight somebody that doesn't give us any anxiety, doesn't get your blood pumping. If Lamont Roach, you won't think, oh, if Lamont Roach lands clean on him, he'll drop him. You don't think that. There's no excitement in the fight. There's no excitement in that. So fans aren't going to pay for it. And I'm glad things like this are happening, where I hope they change the opponent. I hope they make the card better. PBCs needs to stop thinking about profit and think about giving customers a good product, because they do have great cards. They do. PBC does put on great cards sometimes. That's the key word, sometimes. And fans deserve better products for sure. To have Tim Tszyu walk out with no music, that just says so itself. But the PBC, it's exposed. This is money issues, right? And anybody that would speculate on what happened with the venue, it's just speculation. You don't know, and you're probably never gonna know, because they don't talk. And all the logical reason as to why this fight is not happening December 14th is money. That's the only logical reason. And for you to argue that no, it's not money, you're just throwing out you're just creating imaginary scenarios. Everything comes down to money. That's all I got. Peace.